Karen Birchill here. As you see, I am getting ready to do an art journal page, trust. Trust is my word for 2016. And the reason I've chosen trust, and even any word, is because this year promises to be a year of huge change and big decisions. This, in all likelihood, will be the year that I choose to retire. Along with that, there are choices that may lead my husband and I to relocate across several provinces towards our retirement goals and where we want to be. And while the change is exciting and it's something that we both want, I just have to have the trust that things are going to work out the way they're going to work out. And I need to trust the decisions that we make, that they're the right decisions for us. And I need to trust when all things become overwhelming and that sense of panic hits me. I just need to trust that I've got this, that I can handle whatever is going to happen. So it's a big word and it's going to be a big year. So I've cut out the words. I printed them off on copy paper using my free fonts. And I am going to do some kind of flower similar to, I think I'm going to do something similar to this one over here, where I have gratitude, and using the acrylic paints and my hope. And in one, again, using the acrylic paints on the page, kind of inspirational things. That might be a series that I do for my inspiration wall at home. So trust is going to be one of those. I'm looking for jelly prints to cut out for the flowers, and I'm looking for a center, something in the yellow tone, something in the pink, purpley, and teal, I've decided. So I'm just looking for prints that go together based on the color and design. So I'm cutting out the rough shape for the petals, and once I'm happy with, I use the color wheel to decide what to use in the background. I have used 5 of these colors on the color wheel that are next to each other. That's called analogous colors, and they say that if you use 2 to 5, up to 5 of these colors in a page, they will go well together. So before I get out my Liquitex paint, I am adding some texture to the page. I am using my Liquitex light modeling paste. This is the first time I'm using it. I've always used the flexible modeling paste. It is a very different texture, way lighter. I'm not sure I like it yet. There you see me wiping everything down because I made a mess. And because I've gessoed the page prior to this, that made cleaning it up and starting again possible or easier. So here are my colors, analogous colors that are next to each other on the color wheel and are all in my jelly prints that I've selected for the flowers. And I'm starting with Naples Yellow. I've learned by watching Tracy Winesapple on Mixed Media Monday that adding yellow in the middle of the background is always a really good idea. I really liked the effects she had, and it was something I would never have done. Right now I'm applying Prussian Blue, another favorite color thanks to Tracy's use of it. So I'm adding aqua, and most of these are my Liquitex Basics. And adding magenta. I have learned by playing with my paints, either jelly printing or just having fun with them and taking how do things mix, that the aqua and the magenta work really well, and they make a very nice purple that I like better than any purple or violet that I could get out of the tube. I also like how it blends with the Naples yellow, and you get kind of this orange that seems to glow a bit, and I really like that effect, so I've used it to my benefit here. And that's the advantage of playing with your colors and just experimenting. You never know what you're going to find. And if you mix colors by blending them together, as you've seen me do here, you create different intensities of colors that really make your page or your piece of art really unique. Taking some time to dry it to set the colors, and just adding more of the different colors and shades, a little bit of metallic, especially where the texture is, so you get that little bit of shimmer, because if you've watched any of my videos, you know I love the shimmer. Getting a rough idea of where the flowers are going to go. I noticed that my letters weren't as black as I would like them to make them really pop, so I'm just giving them a coat of black acrylic paint. Again, these were just cut out of copy paper off my printer. Setting up the flower. The petals that you see me putting on right now were created with my Gelli Arts printing plate and a piece of cardboard. I had ripped the cardboard off one side, and so you see the bumpy parts, and I just placed it on the Gelli plate one way and then the other way, and you get that gingham kind of look, which I really like, and I'll be definitely using it again. So I start with applying it with Mod Podge, and then decide, no, I want to use gel medium. And I broke open my new container of Liquitex gel medium matte, and I love it. I have been using the golden matte gel, and I've struggled with it. It's very thick. This one is a little more liquidy, but it is so easy to work with, so I will definitely get more of this. This one, it just made the adhering of this so much easier than my past experiences with gel medium. So if you don't like the gel medium that you have, ask around, try different brands. The teal petals that you see me putting on now were created with my jelly plate as well, and a stencil from Crafter's Workshop. It's Geo something. I'm not sure what its actual name is. But it was a new stencil, and again, I really liked how it worked on the jelly plate, so another good jelly print stencil. I'm applying the gel medium both underneath and on top of what I'm collaging down. I like when I'm composing a page to put one of the items or some of the items so they're falling off of the page. In this case, I put both flowers so they're only partially on with my word inside. I lightened the color behind the last T a few minutes ago just because it was too dark. I just really wanted it to pop. So right now I'm starting in on the little details that really seem to set off the page. So I'm using my Stabilo all pencil and tracing around the petals and the center of the flower, and then activating it with a small brush with water. And I'm putting quite a bit of water on this. I want it quite wet because I want it to kind of spread out so you get that shading effect. There are many things you can use, many materials you can use to get the same effect, from a non-permanent liner pen to Neocolor 2s, watercolor pencils, Inktense blocks or pencils, even a charcoal pencil where you just smudge it and fit it in. Don't think that you saw someone using a Stabilo all pencil and you have to have that. You don't. Many things can be used to shade and edge your paint. What's important is that you shade it. It does add a nice dimension to your page. What you use to get that effect is wide open. I'm drawing it in between because I realized on the first one that I kind of smudged some of it and I had to go back and touch it up. So you learn as you go. Really liking how that dark, adding that bit of dark, really made the flowers pop and separated them from the background. So I'm just doing the same around the edge of the page. This really frames your piece of art. And I'm just wetting it with my finger. I'm kind of putting a little bit of a thicker line than I did around the petals, wetting it with my finger and drawing it in between, just so I don't smudge it. You could edge by rubbing an ink pad around the edge or acrylic paint on a makeup sponge or blending tool. A gelato activated the same way. So now I'm deciding if I'm done, and I grab my Uniball Signo white pen, and I decide, no, I'm going to use my Posca pen. The Posca pen is a paint pen. It is permanent, and I love it. One of the reasons I love it is because it's very easy to use. The other is because there is very little smell with it. The other paint pens that I've bought have a very strong spray painty kind of smell. This does not. They come in varying thicknesses. And are This one is, I think, the extra thin, but I love it. And the white tends to stay very white. It went on the acrylic paints very, very easily. Over the matte gel medium, no problem. Just edging, going on top of the black, kind of a little bit of a sketchy line work, doodling, I don't know what you call it. But it just adds that little extra detail. Then I decide I'm going to go around the petals. So I'm kind of doing a little bit of a sketchy, not pressing as hard or as long, but I don't want it to be as white as where I outlined the letters. But it just adds. I laugh. First we had black, then we had white. So I decide now I need to splatter white. Now I'm using white acrylic paint, thinned white acrylic paint with a fan brush. You can use a toothbrush, you can use another different kind of paintbrush. And there's my page. Just kind of give you a bit of a close-up. You can see all the wonderful color and texture and the little bit of shimmer when I turn the page and the light catches it in a certain way. And yes, always sign and date your work. It's nice to go back and see. Here's a close-up of the page. Thank you so much for watching my videos and subscribing to my channel. If you hadn't hit the subscribe button, you can even set it so that you are notified of the next video that comes up. Get ready, because here's all the places that you can follow me on my blog, Facebook page, Pinterest, and now Twitter.